I've been daily driving the new iPhone 17 Pro Max in Cosmic Orange. It's got a new redesigned camera bump, aluminum unibody enclosure, 4x optical zoom, which is 120mm equivalent focal length, meaning you're getting true optical reach, not just digital crop, improved battery, and all three rear cameras are 48 megapixels. Feels like the most capable Pro Max yet, especially for creators who actually push their phones to the limit. So I wanted to see what it's like to shoot a full day using the 17 Pro Max, traveling from Brooklyn to Newport, Rhode Island for car week. No mirrorless cameras, no rigs, just the iPhone and a full weekend surrounded by cars, sunlight, and a few surprises along the way. I started the day here in Greenpoint, New York City. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods in New York, especially when I have a loaner for a week like this stunning Escalade IQ. More on this car later. Before we jump into the full day in a life where we'll do more of a comprehensive day in a life test, I pulled up to Rhythm Zero in Greenpoint, still one of my favorite choices for coffee and a pastry in New York City. They have a bunch of locations now, but this is still my favorite because of the minimalist and brutalist take on their interior design for this cafe. I ordered a tea for my homie Justin and an iced blueberry matcha for myself. Also, this is a great spot to grab some moody pictures for the gram. I can't help but open my iPhone camera in here because the aesthetic is top tier. After catching up on live, how we feel about our upcoming half marathon races, and chatting about what shots we want to take for today's video, I grabbed the 17 Pro Max to knock out a few emails before I hit the road to Rhode Island for car week. I'm a big fan of the aluminum enclosed unibody for the 17 Pro Max. Even though our real day in the life starts tomorrow, still wanted to keep you guys posted on battery life. I've been using the phone throughout the day, Bluetooth connected to the Cadillac, looking at stocks, YouTube, and writing emails over the past 4 hours with 56% of battery life. I've learned my lesson from the scratches that you can get on the new iPhone 17 series. So I've been daily driving this case from Spigen, Ultra Hybrid MagSafe case in Frost Black. While sitting down drinking one of the best matchas I've had in a while, I couldn't even help but notice about how beautiful the view of this cafe is. So I did a quick zoom test, and the 4X is already becoming one of my favorite focal lengths from this year's iPhone 17 Pro Max. The 48 megapixel sensor is very high resolution, it's sharp, the colors feel natural, and there isn't too much bokeh. We headed back outside on this perfect day in Brooklyn to snag a couple pictures and videos of the Cadillac Escalade IQ. When I say this car is big fam, but it's very nimble and has been smooth to drive around New York City. This Escalade IQ 1000 E4 model in a vibrant white tri-coat, it's around 680 horsepower, so 0 to 60 in roughly 4.7 seconds, and has a massive range of nearly 500 miles. It features a massive front trunk, an elegant yet sporty interior finish with this brown interior and black accents. You get this illumination from the front grille and the emblem that animate in a lighting sequence, which I'm appreciative of. I love lighting, and I think the little details like this make all the difference. When I'm over this way in Greenpoint, I have to walk to the pier and get up close and personal with the Manhattan skyline sitting just behind the East River. We're going to Rhode Island. There's going to be a concept, I think it's the CXR Gran Turismo. I think that's the full name of the model, but it's a concept Corvette, and it's a cars and coffee event, which I've never been to, but I've been wanting to go to, so I'm really excited. And there's also going to be some Escalade displays. The ZR1 is going to be on display, and we might even be able to get some private access. The last stop of the day was Bandit, a fast-growing brand founded here in Greenpoint to check out their new fall line. Their drops tend to sell out pretty fast, so we figured this is a great time to drop by because Justin's race is literally next week and mine is in about a month. After the road trip from Brooklyn to Newport, Rhode Island, I got a chance to spend some time with one of the Corvette engineers. He let me get an up-and-close look at the unreleased ZR1X in this sick Hulk light green color. It's actually called Roswell Green. I got a chance to step inside, hit the gas a little bit. This is a 1250 horsepower, 5.5 liter twin turbo V8 supercar that Corvette is set to release later this year. What an amazing night to end the day, and I'm really excited about what tomorrow has to offer for our full day in the life with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. The next morning, I wanted to jump straight in. The sun had just started hitting the paint of the Cosmic Orange 17 Pro Max, and it looked so good in this sunlight. You could feel the anticipation in the air here in Newport. Car Week has been going on all week, and I'd already seen everything from Ferraris to old school classics just driving through town last night. Before heading out, one of my friends, also a creator, wanted to check out the IQ. So I waited for Lee downstairs. I figured it was a perfect time to see how the 17 Pro Max handled this morning light. Newport is easily one of the most vibrant coastal towns I've been to. You've got these Gilded Age mansions, winding roads, and architecture that feels like it hasn't aged a day. Every corner has a story. I wasn't expecting the city to have this much energy, but then again, it's a place with deep automotive roots, and it is Car Week. And as we got closer to the Cars and Coffee event, the whips just kept getting more and more impressive. I must have seen at least 10 Porsche 911s, this crazy custom 4x4 G-Wagon if I'm not mistaken, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, you name it, it was probably here. The Escalade IQ's pillar-to-pillar display honestly has me spoiled as a techie. It's massive, sharp, and somehow still elegant. And there are 2 wireless chargers inside. They actually hold your phone in place. It fits an iPhone Pro Max, which some electric cars wireless charging pads don't, and they actually charge your devices, which if you've ever driven one that doesn't, you know that's a big deal. Once we got to the event, the first thing I wanted to test was the iPhone 17 Pro Max handheld. I keep an eye out on the battery life if the phone begins to dim or throttle, but it's a perfect place to see what these rear 48 megapixel cameras can really do. I started cycling through lenses, testing everything from the ultra wide to telephoto, shooting both JPEG 48 megapixels and RAW 48 megapixels. iPhone photos have always had this natural look I've loved. The way the software pairs with the hardware just makes sense from a photographer's standpoint, and it's so easy and accessible. I rarely use external apps to edit my photos because the color, tone, and contrast already feel dialed in. Plus you have styles, which is my favorite camera feature out of any phone. So having the same look with even more resolution makes shooting on the 17 Pro Max even more refined. The lineup in front of me couldn't have been better. A Bentley Continental, Honda S2000 Roadster, and this vintage Ferrari Mondeo. There's just something about the mid-engine layout and practicality of rear seats in a classic Ferrari that feels so timeless. After snapping a few shots, we headed back to the Cadillac booth, and sitting there was this sick Cadillac Lyriq SUV in this Nimbus metallic matte finish. But right next to it was probably my favorite car of the day, the Ferrari Puro Sangue. Then we decided to take out the 650 horsepower Cadillac Blackwing. We sat in traffic in the parking lot for like 20 to 30 minutes, so I connected my phone to Bluetooth so we could vibe out to some tunes. The steering, the sound, even the feel of the cabin, everything about it reminded me of a Cadillac, but blending luxury and performance in a way that just works. The iPhone 17 Pro Max was holding up really well. It wasn't noticeably hot despite shooting high resolution photos and videos, and it's been in direct sunlight for hours with practically no shade aside from when we were in the Blackwing. I did start to notice the screen dimming quite a bit though, which felt pretty reminiscent of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, but to be fair, this was hours later with a ton of high performance and power user type of usage. The brightness dip was only noticeable once the event ended, and considering everything I was pushing the phone to do, it held up as expected. Later on, I did a few more zoom tests while out in the water. The 8x in the right lighting is actually really solid. Colors stay consistent, the image is bright, and even though it can struggle a bit with focusing, like when holding this cup, which was only about maybe 2 feet away from the lens, it's still super usable. I love to see a dedicated 8x lens one day, but that would probably mean adding a 4th lens. For now though, the main camera is just stunning. One of those picture perfect moments you just can't plan. This is my first time actually using center stage in a video mode, and it's quite convenient to be able to hold the phone like I'm shooting a portrait. So if you want to do a selfie style video, it's more discreet. Once we got back to the car, I rode shotgun this time and checked battery usage. It was up more than 40% compared to my average, which explains why I was already down to 46% in just 4 hours. Honestly, that's not bad considering I was shooting RAW, log, ProRes, using maps, and constantly connecting to different vehicles. It's kind of crazy how far phones have come. The 17 Pro Max has been my main camera, my maps, and editor all day. After a long morning in the sun, we finally made it back to the hotel. I grabbed some water from maybe the most futuristic water dispenser I've ever seen. Like it had unlimited options, and you could even choose electrolytes, which I needed desperately. We grabbed lunch, recharged for a bit, and then met up with the Corvette team to shoot some content of the 2026 ZR1X. The energy was completely different for the morning, less chaos, more focused. The lighting was solid, and it honestly felt like the ideal setup to end the day doing what I love, filming cars and testing tech. Absolutely crashed after the shoot. It was a long, busy, and honestly, an unexpected surprise here in Newport. It was an amazing day being surrounded by cars and filming car content again. You could say my love for cars really has been reinvigorated from the history of the power and now the tech that's pushing these machines to new limits, like the ZR1X. And somehow my phone still wasn't dead. I didn't plug it in once until around 7:30 p.m., which technically makes this a full day, even though it got a well-deserved break earlier. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this different style of video. With cameras being the most consistent yearly upgrade, I figured why not try a full day in a life only shot on iPhone. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.